Recording in progress.
Good evening and welcome to the Universal Joy Center. And I'm delighted that you're here with us this evening. Let us join together in consciousness as we begin today's service. How we join together knowing that there is a power and presence in the universe that is creative and intelligent, infinite in scope. It is everywhere present, it is all powerful and all knowing. And so I know it's right here where I am. As I breathe life into that idea, I accept and know that today's service is absolutely a gift and a blessing, that whatever is needed is felt and realized, whatever is known is expressed. And I know that tonight there is some kind of special thing that happens in the universe that expands each and every one of us. And so for this and so much more, I say thank you. Thank you for this day and this moment. Thank you for the beauty of this particular experience. With gratitude and grace, I release this to the law. It is done and all is well. And so it is. Well, welcome, welcome. Our theme this month is creative expression and inspired action. How cool is that? So let us begin with our land acknowledgement. We are honored to be meeting on these lands that many First Nation, Inuit, and Métis people have been calling home for thousands of years. We acknowledge and thank the original caretakers and knowledge keepers of this territory. We also give thanks to all other Indigenous peoples, recorded and unrecorded, who have shared responsibility for the territory. Recognizing our ultimate oneness and acknowledging our reality, past and present, we commit to moving forward in a spirit of mutual cooperation. We are one. Well, welcome home, everybody, to your spiritual home. And wherever you are joining from, I invite you just now to take just a deep breath in and simply arrive. There is something sacred about taking a breath and pausing long enough to notice that life is already happening for us, through us, and around us. Tonight we explore the idea of flow. Not forcing, not controlling, not manipulating outcomes, but learning how to move with life rather than against it. So tonight's talk is called Letting Life Flow. And perhaps the deepest spiritual question we can ask ourselves is, what would happen if I stopped fighting reality? I wonder. So let us just take one more moment in a prayerful state. There is one life, one presence, one infinite intelligence expressing itself in countless ways. That presence breathes through every person on this call. It moves through every season of life. It remains steady even when our heart and our human experience feels uncertain. Tonight we open ourselves to a greater ease. We release struggle. We release the need to control every outcome. We allow ourselves to trust the deeper current of life. And may this gathering remind us that we are supported, guided, and carried even now. Grateful for this truth, I release it knowing it is done. And so it is. So we as human beings are very fascinating creatures. We want peace, but we rehearse worry. We want ease, but we grip tightly. We want flow, but we attempt to control every possible outcome. And honestly, most of us have tried to micromanage the universe at least once or twice or three times. Some of us before breakfast. We create timelines for our life. I should be here by now. This should have happened already. This person should have behaved differently. And then life does what life does. It flows in directions we never expected. Sometimes beautifully, sometimes painfully, sometimes hilariously. But the challenge is not that life moves, the challenge is that we resist the movement. Yes, you recognize this, don't you? I know I certainly do. We resist the movement. So, the river, a teacher once asked a student, "Why do you struggle so much?" And the student replied, "Because life keeps changing." Teacher smiled and said, "That is not the problem. The problem is that you keep demanding it stay the same." So tonight's metaphor is the river. A river never argues with a rock. It does not stop and scream, "This should not be here." It simply moves. It moves around it, over it, through it. See, the river understands something that we often forget. Flow is stronger than force. You see, a river reaches the open ocean not because it fights every obstacle, but because it remains committed to movement. Now, imagine for a moment if we trusted life like that. If we believed that every single thing that was going on was somehow it had some purpose, that there was some reason for it. So, what if we trusted life in that same way the river trusts that it will arrive at the ocean? What if we stopped measuring every delay as failure? And what if we saw it as simply a pause or a moment of new possibilities showing up, or even just a rest? So, what if the detour was not punishment but redirection? And what if that redirection was the absolute perfect thing for our life expression? Hmm. Yeah. So, resistance creates suffering. Okay. Resistance creates suffering. Much of our suffering comes from arguing with reality. I didn't want this to happen. This should not be happening. They should be different. I should be different. And while our feelings are valid, resistance often traps us in exhaustion. See, there's a difference between pain and suffering. Pain is part of life. Suffering is what happens when we cling to how we think life must look, or how it should have looked, or how it should look. The Buddhists say that pain is inevitable. Suffering, however, is optional. So as we, take the next week, I'm hoping that you will explore some of this in your own life to see, is there any place where your suffering is unnecessary? Could we let it go? So suffering is, again, that resistance to letting go. Spiritual surrender doesn't mean becoming passive. It does not mean tolerating harm or giving up on dreams. It means we stop fighting the present moment long enough to hear its wisdom. Yeah. See, sometimes life is saying, slow down, take a break, pause. And sometimes it's saying, you've outgrown this. Sometimes life is saying, there is another path trying to emerge. But see, we cannot hear the guidance while we are busy wrestling reality to the floor, slamming it down, hoping it'll, no. There's a lot of noise in our world, right? There's lots of distractions. But what if we were to stop noticing the distractions and instead took our attention inward and began listening for that still small voice? What if we started listening to the wisdom that is trying to emerge, the insights that are trying to be heard? So, have you ever noticed how we pray for peace and then panic when nothing happens immediately? Universe, guide me. 5 minutes later, hello, I need a sign. I know I've done it. I'm not sure if any of you have, but we want instant enlightenment like a drive through order. I'll take one spiritual awakening and a side of emotional stability. But life unfolds organically. Nature never rushes, you know, no flower is screaming itself open, and a sunrise does not panic. Come on, I got to get up, I got to get there. And the ocean doesn't apologize for the tide. And somehow humanity decided, yes, but I should have everything figured out by Tuesday. I should have everything figured out by now. I should. All of those shoulds. But what if we just stop that for a moment? Just stop it for a moment and just take a pause. And in that pause, allow ourselves to sit in the silence and listen for inner direction. Listen for that intuitive response that says, what about this? See, there's moments in life when we simply cannot force the next chapter. And many of us know how it feels to stand in that uncertainty. You know, a relationship changes, a job disappears, a diagnosis arrives, right? A dream shifts, a door closes. And we can get caught up in these moments and stick to them, wishing they were different. But instead of gripping tighter, what we need to do is just let it be. Loosen that grip. I remember when I was learning to golf and I was told over and over again, like, loosen your grip. I'm like, yeah, but I got to hold the club. And I'm holding it with every ounce of strength I can garner. And I wonder why I'm creating divots in the in the field rather than getting the ball down to the green. Sometimes we have to hold life loosely. We have to allow it to move, to flow. We have to allow ourselves to surrender into the moment. And surrender is not about giving up. It's more about giving into the highest, most divine aspect of our being and allowing that to be our guiding light and force. So sometimes what feels like life falling apart is actually life rearranging itself. Now, I remember years ago when I was trying to get here, right? I had this dream to, come to Toronto and start a center and expand the science of mind teaching. But of course, I had some things I had to do first. Complete my education. That took 5 years. And then nothing was happening. It's like, come on. What's going on? Nothing was happening. And then all of a sudden, one day, I get a phone call from a friend saying, why didn't you apply for the Vernon Center? I couldn't remember why. So I applied and I received that posting. Now, I served there for 18 months. And at that time, I got the message, it's time to go to Toronto. So I wrapped up things in Vernon, went back to Calgary for a short little bit, about a month, and then flew here to Ontario. There were times when I was worried it might not happen. That didn't last long though. Or I was trying to analyze how it was going to occur. And some of those things were very exhausting. And eventually I just gave it up because I thought, well, what is the point? What is the point of me trying to make something happen when I feel right deep within me that it will happen? I just need to I need to let go of the controls of how and when and just allow something to flow. And it truly did. It truly did. And it seems like when we get very frustrated about something, that's the moment we let go. But wouldn't it be nice if we could just do it sooner? If we could just relax and a little bit earlier go, you know what? I'm not driving the bus here. I know where I want to go, but let my GPS take me in the easiest, most joyful way to get there. And so we get out of the way and we allow and we listen. We listen to that internal prompt that says go left or go right or go straight ahead or phone this person or do this or check out this or go right. There's information that's coming all the time. And if I allow myself to let go of my desire to have it happen in a very specific and structured way, if I let all that go and I allow the universe to move me, to carry me forward, life gets easier. Imagine back to the river. Imagine that you're on the river in a kayak and you're flowing down the river and you have paddles, but you're not really needing them, are you? It's like the kayak is moving along with the current and it's moving quite nicely. Every now and again, you're going to use those paddles to move around a rock or to come over to the shore so you can maybe portage around a waterfall or something like that. But the reality is that it's moving really with a lot of ease and very little effort. Now, the opposite is possible. I could turn the kayak around and I could paddle my way upstream. Okay? That's how some of us live life. We're paddling upstream. We're not getting very far very fast, but we are moving and we're working hard and we're sweating bullets and we're exhausted. Our body, every muscle aches. And then finally we go, "Ugh, enough already." And the kayak just turns around and off it goes. What if that's life? What if that's living in the flow? That I let go of my predetermined notion of what it must be, how it must be, the way it has to come about, who needs to be involved, etc. And instead I go, okay, show me. And I take time in meditation and silence and I allow myself to feel and to hear and to discover something within me that knows precisely where I'm headed and moves me in ways that gets me there in the easiest, most joyful, graceful way possible. See, the moment I release the struggle, the moment you release the struggle, something unexpected appears, and that's clarity. Sometimes it's just so loud. It's like, how did I not see that before? And it's not about immediate answers, but it's about clarity. The next steps will emerge naturally. Sometimes surrender, can be seen as a great strength. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Flow is not laziness. Flow is participation without panic. It's good, eh? Is showing up fully while trusting we're not carrying the universe alone. Like I don't have, this big whole universe sitting on my shoulder weighing me down. No. We still take action, we still make choices, we still move, we speak truth, we dream, but we stop operating from fear and desperation. We listen deeply. See, there's a current beneath life, a wisdom beneath appearances. And when we stop resisting every wave, we begin to feel carried. Yeah. So I want you to think for a moment, about a dream that you've had. It doesn't matter if you've had it from childhood or if you've had it from last week, but there's a little something that you would really like to do, something you'd like to accomplish. Just think on that for a second. And what if you decided right now that this is absolutely the right thing for you to do? Whatever this dream is that you've got that's rumbling inside. And what if you had everything you needed to make it possible? If you have a piece of paper handy and a pen, I want to invite you just to we'll just take maybe 2 or 3 minutes here. And I want you just to write down an idea, a dream that just kind of has been niggling back there. Something you haven't really thought was possible, or something that you've imagined, could be possible for you. And I'll watch the time. We've got about 2 more minutes. Just a few more seconds. And maybe during our community gathering time, if you feel comfortable, you can share something that you've written. Life is flowing regardless of our resistance, our hesitation, our fear, doubt, or worry. It's still flowing, it's still moving. A man once watched an eagle struggling against a storm. The bird fought fiercely against the wind, exhausting itself, and then suddenly something shifted. The eagle stopped resisting. It opened its wings and allowed the current to lift it higher than before. The very wind that once seemed like opposition all of a sudden became support. People, this is what life is actually like. It's the same thing. It's not about quitting, it's not about giving up, but it is to stop fighting the actual force of flow, and to trust that even the winds of change may be carrying us somewhere important, somewhere we've been wanting to go. So repeat after me. I release resistance. I release resistance. I trust the wisdom of life. I trust the wisdom of life. I allow ease to guide me. I allow ease to guide me. I move with grace. I move with grace. I am carried by love. I am carried by love. and all is well. And all is well. And so it is. Well, this is the time in our service when we go into our offering. And Kathy isn't with us this evening. She's feeling a little under the weather and getting some well needed rest. So I will be looking after this section now. So at the Universal Joy Center, we believe that life flows through giving and receiving, and nature demonstrates this beautifully. The river flows because it moves, the breath flows because it circulates, love grows because it's shared. When we give freely, we affirm abundance rather than scarcity. And so tonight, as we receive our offering, we do so with gratitude for the community, for connection, for opportunity to support spaces where people can heal and grow and awaken. So let's affirm together. Divine abundance flows through my life freely and continuously. I give with joy. I receive with gratitude. And I trust there is always enough. Yes. Doesn't that feel good to say that? So there's numerous ways you can give. You can give by e-transfer to admin at ujoyc.ca, or you can click the donate link on our website at ujoyc.ca, or mail a check to the Universal Joy Center. However you choose to give is A-okay. And there is no expectation that you must. That's the beauty of this place. We are here to share together in love and in joy, and however that looks, and that's a beautiful thing. Well, we do have a couple of announcements. So we've been talking about Joy Partners, and Joy Partners, it's anyone who has signed up for monthly giving so that our board of trustees can, better set our budget each year, etc. And whenever you sign up for that, you become a Joy Partner. Right now, we have 7 Joy Partners. And for that, thank you so much to all of you. We're very, very grateful. So our theme this month is Awakening into Possibility. So next month, it's going to change. So be sure to be here next week when we release the new the new monthly theme. Also, I want to mention that next week is Friendship Wednesday. Yes, Friendship Wednesday next week. So be sure to bring a buddy, a neighbor, a friend, a spouse, a child, whatever, whoever you choose to bring somebody along, and I will send both of you a gift. All you need to do is put your email into the chat at the end of the service next week. Let me know who you are and who you brought, and emails for both, and we will get those gifts off to you straight away. Now, we do have a couple of courses coming up. We have got a new weekly book study, The Untethered Soul. This starts on June the 5th. It is a morning class that will go from 10 until noon each week for 10 weeks. So it goes from June 5th to August 7th, I believe is the date. So every Friday until August. And if you have to miss the odd one because of vacations or whatever, not really a problem, because we record them and we can send the recording to you so that you can catch up. The book is amazing, The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. So grab a copy and join the class. And you can, and Tessa's put the link in the chat. Thank you, Tessa. So, click there, join, and we'd love to have you in the class. The other class that's coming up is on June 27th. It is a meditation workshop. It's called Meditation for Beginners. And this is that meditation class. If you've been struggling with meditation, if you're sure you're not able to do it, if you think you've tried it but it doesn't work, join us. Join us for this class. It is 3 hours long from 10 until 1 on Saturday, June 27th. Everybody's welcome to attend. The cost of the class is $35 or pay whatever you want. How's that for a fee? Anyway, we hope that you'll join because meditation is truly one of the most transformative things that you can do for yourself. Hey, and for those of you who are watching on Facebook or YouTube, thank you for joining. And please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to join us for conversation in the Zoom room, the link is now on screen for you so that you can come on in and join us for a chat. And for everyone who is here, thank you for being here.